Well, essentially, the children's advocate is supposed to be, watch the air quotes, the voice for children who are in conflict or have an issue or problem with the Department of Children's Services. So they're generally wards, or they're kids that have been put under temporary or permanent guardianship that, you know, maybe they've been abused, or someone's committed a crime against them, or they've been left some money and they need a trustee. Any of those things, they should be able to approach the advocate, who will try and help them with the issue. The problem has been that the advocate reported directly to the minister. And in the past, the advocate has not filed on an annual basis, which they're required by law to do. They actually got 5 years behind at one point. And we didn't know in the assembly because we didn't get the reports. They just went to the minister didn't say anything, so we didn't know. And we've also found, I think you'll find people in the opposition that believe that the children's advocate has pulled his punches because he's reporting to his boss. The same person that pays him is the person that he's bringing complaints to, right? So some people feel they pulled their punches. And having that position report directly to the assembly, they could be more critical of the department and more honest of... I think it's the mic, not me. Okay, and they could be more critical of what was going wrong in the department. But as we know, I've criticized that department in the past for using the privacy laws in a way that circumvented transparency, particularly when children have died. I think we need to be much more transparent about the circumstances around the death, and at that point, protecting the child's name is a bit of a moot point, I would have said, and we need to know what went wrong, and there's always a struggle between us and the department and whether we get the information. So, did that help you know what it does? Okay. Okay, you hit about 3 issues there. First thing is, resourcing is the last one, so we'll come to that. They have a number of different programs and different rules around the programs. So one of the programs they have is called the kinship program. Particularly for Aboriginal children, it says, above all, try and place an Aboriginal child with their family first. And unless it's a really, really bad idea, try and put them with the family first, which is why this sister got all the kids, because she was kinship, she got it. But she didn't get enough help, clearly. And that's where the resourcing is a problem, because I think some people could take that on, but just to dump 6 kids on a 24-year-old and walk away, no, not many people would do well under those circumstances. And so there are programs where a social worker in some cases like actually moves into the house and works with them sort of 24 hours a day over a period of time and helps them set some ground rules and that kind of thing, and then they can leave and let the family progress. But that's not cheap for starters, because you're probably paying a couple of people to be there, and that's part of the resourcing. They really are encouraged not to take children into custody now. And where they make a mistake or don't judge what's going on, in the best interest of the child, we also end up with children being abused or even dying, where they just don't read the situation accurately, and you end up with a kid dying. And that's where we need to try and figure out where it goes wrong so we can adjust the programs better. But for any of you that ever worked in children's services, and I know there's a couple of ex-social workers in this building, yes, originally they used to take kids away at the drop of a hat, and now they do everything they can to leave the kid in the situation. Fair enough, but you better get some support into that situation or it's not going to get better. So it is about resourcing, and people say, oh, Laurie, you just want to spend money.
Well, you have to if you want to do anything about it.
And frankly, this is penny wise and pound foolish. You're not going to spend the money at the front end. You're going to end up with those 6 kids Now, how much money are we gonna pay for that inquest, for that one child that died? Plus the rest of the kids that have now been, I have no idea what happened to them, but I bet you some of them are in counseling. That's gonna be on the tax dollars. So at a certain point, it's costing us more money to deal with the problems than if we'd actually invested a little bit more at the beginning. So that's always my argument. I just wanna see money efficiently spent, and I find we pour money at the end, but we were very reluctant to put it in at the beginning. So there we go. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.